Today's adventure is figuring this front window opening out. A lot of people said, we should flip the rear of one to this side and make a squared off window. And I see where you're going with that. It just seems too much of a hard bend for me. I think I'm just gonna tighten up what I did here. To me, that just looks too square. Even if you were to round this off, I think that radius is too hard. It definitely works back here because these two are the same. But I feel like this should just be a little more of a gentle curve. Tighter than this one, but gentler than, kind of like the tail of the three bears, right? Too tight, too loose, just fine. So fortunately, my ego is not that big. Let's follow through with all the great advice from our public. I like it. You got all these cuts here. It's just tacked, so I can pull this off. Or actually, I think I'm gonna, what am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna take that roof and slide it back just a little. I'm thinking if we could get this just up about that much, just try to follow that, we'll be okay. I'll probably have to cut this here to just sort of let that raise up a bit. But then, maybe I'll use this one. Maybe I'll use pieces of both. We're definitely gonna have to make this longer, unfortunately, because we're gonna run out of metal. So, yeah, let me cut this off. I'm gonna cut this here. I'm gonna just bring this up and see what we're working with. I think that helps a lot, huh? I'm gonna cut this away. That way we can see, we want this line to flow through. We don't want it to look like two different shaped arches in the windows. So maybe I can just lift this up a bit. See, does that take away from it? I don't know. Yeah, it does. It looks too bulky in the front. It's too high, see? What do I know? I'm just a car designer. This looks too high right here. That's the problem. I'm gonna have to redesign the entire thing.
So where does it look too high?
To me, you're flowing from 8.5. Nope, never gets taller than that. Optical illusion. 8.5 straight through. Looks if I make one more cut here, I might split the difference. This has got to come back just a hair.
Because you want it to be a bit in the front, like a inch or a half inch, just smaller, just a little bit deeper.
Again, when you're looking at this line, which was just a random cut I made, right?
Right.
But it just appears that the window itself was just diving too much. And I think that's what everybody was getting at. It's like, it just looks like it's diving in comparison to the rooftop.
Right. But it's not. It's 8.5 inches all the way through.
Well, it was. It was diving. Look, this much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the visual everybody, I think, was responding to. It just, now we were at 8.5 in the back. We're probably still comparable, roughly 8.5. And then look down, 8.25, 8, 7.5, right? So it's 7.5 right here.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do this, it's 8 right there.
And you feel like it's a bit too high looking right there.
My eye thinks so, but you wouldn't want to be looking through these eyes your whole day. You might have a whole problem. Look, 8.5, straight through now. So it's just my eyeball seeing untruths as usual. So I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to bring this back just a little bit more, then put in a piece right there. And we'll get on to the structure. I'm just going to cut a little section of this door as big as that spacer nut I had out and piece it in there.
I like it.
Yeah, that helps for sure.
I think it looks more proportional.
Yeah.
And not so pinched. Are you going to have a visor on this build?
Yes, yes. The roof is just representing an overhang. There's going to be a custom 100%
So that
visor.
I feel the overhang, how I see it, is the overhang will then give it that kind of lowbrow profile look without the pinched window.
I think you're right.
That's how I see it. I have been known to have a good eye.
You know
I
how
married
to pick 'em.
you.
You know how to pick 'em. I'm just going to get this fiberglass parallel with our new.
And Ian's getting really annoyed with the fiberglass, everybody. This roof thing. How many times have you put it on and taken it off?
500. But the benefit of using the cap like this, not installing it yet, is, as I mentioned, I can get in and out of the car to do all that work without being cramped in there.
It's just it's Friday and we're filming, and it's been 90 degrees in the desert.
It's not as hot as it was last month.
And we're just tired. It's the end of the week. And Ian has lifted this thing 1,000 times. You really have.
It's pretty heavy. All right, I'm going to put a little backer plate in here and clamp that so it's got some strength. I like that one YouTuber we were watching last night. We're watching some touring the Mojave Desert YouTube videos. And
we subscribed.
Well, I like the way the guy put it. You know, everybody's got their own style and how they present things, but he said exactly what Jamie just said. Consider subscribing. Like, he didn't tell you, hey, like, subscribe. It's like, consider it.
Consider subscribing. We would love for you to subscribe. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. The way
what was the name of the channel? Sidetracked?
Sidetracked, yeah. He explores a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, super fun.
In the desert. Put a little strength in here. Now the hardest part of the equation is getting this part to slip forward. You see there's a pretty good mismatch of that piece I just stuck in there. We're going to have to modify that, but who knows, maybe this will marry into that. I don't know. We're going to find out. So I think because it's got this little piece of structure right here, I'm going to cut it just behind that. Come down and across. Try to move this thing forward. Probably going to cut it right off first so I can clear out this frame here because that's already in place. And you can see this is going to be just a simple little twist and bend of that piece. I've got a little gap here that I'm going to address before I get any deeper, because that's going to add a lot of strength. Whenever I have to bridge a gap like this, I mean, obviously you want to, well, I'll get closer. When you're doing something this loose, you will potentially have gaps like this. And you can either find a rod or a piece of steel. So the door angle is coming down right to here. It's pretty much straight down, following that drip rail right here. And that's what we're going for. We want this to shoot straight down. So if we follow that back to here, that's about the angle. It turns up. Let's cut this off right here. And I'm going to cut this off too to gain a little more room. It looks like we're going to run past. Looks like we're going to be somewhere in this neighborhood out here. So I'm going to cut that off right here. There it is. Cool.
I was wondering how you're going to do that.
You're not the only one. I'm the one sitting here. They're all watching. They're all watching. Make it look like you know what you're doing.
But haven't you had a television show for like 9 years or something?
Still doesn't mean I know what the heck I'm doing. They just put a camera in front of me and I dance. But it's literally like this every time. Like it's a one-shot deal. There's no smoke and mirrors. It's this.
I feel like your fabrication skills are up to the task.
It better be. We ain't gonna have no story.
Oh, I'll edit. I'll make one. Don't worry.
No, I mean this car will go to the scrapyard.
Oh no. No.
I've talked on this a lot of times before about lapping sheet metal instead of butt welding it all the time. And here's a good example. This is a very strong corner of the door. This window frame will be grabbed on a lot to open and shut the door. So you want it strong. There was a series of inner structural improvements to hold the rear window mount. So this corner was super strong. And I don't mind lapping here. For the amount of extra filler there'll be right here, I'm not bothered by it. But you can see with this other cut, I'll be able to weld through, grab all the panels like that, and that will be much stronger than a simple butt welded thing that we're doing up here. You know, this will be more of a tubular structure per se. So butt welding here, you'll have a lot of inner stuff to work on as well. But right there, I think it adds up to just, yeah, get as much strength as possible. I'm going to cut this piece out of the other door, add it in there, take some paint off. Even though I put this little flap in, I think I'm going to cut this off. We have that. I'm going to replace from here to there with one piece of the other windshield. With one piece of the other door frame thing. They're all windshields in my eyes. That much. Cat tools are showing their age. The safety is already broken on this.
The what? The what broken?
The safety on the switch is broken on this already. You can see when you put it down. But good tool. That thing just busted. Honest Ian's tool review. Yeah, there it is right there. So yeah, I think that helped. Obviously this strip rail comes off, but now we do have that vertical representation. This gap is pretty much even straight through, whereas before it was tilting down. So yeah, thanks for the advice. It does affect things. You see, crowdsourced the window opening for the rear and the front. Pretty groovy. You guys should start designing cars.